Hey guys, Nadine here with Fitness and Fat Loss with Fit Body Bootcamp. All right, so today we are going to go over self-massaging tools to help relieve those tight muscles that often cause injuries. So this is going to be a great episode for whether you're really active or whether you are sedentary, young or old. So I look forward to having you enjoy the show today. See you when you get back. Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are going to go over self-massaging practices that we commonly go over with Fit Body Bootcamp. Now this workshop, actually, we're going to be going over similar stuff that I go over a workshop that people actually pay, a pretty good amount of money for. So you guys, as Rogers viewers, are going to be getting it absolutely for free. So lucky for you. And the great thing about self-massaging is that it's actually beneficial for anyone that is younger, who's like an all-star athlete, to anyone that I work with, seniors, okay? So the great thing is that you'll often hear chiropractors or physiotherapists talk about this as well. And maybe you've even, gotten some exercises from them to help with your tight muscles. So what I want to do is, it's kind of an up-and-coming, informational, educational, products that we use here, okay? Now, the foam roller itself, this is a foam roller, and then we got a couple other tools that we're going to be going over today. But first off, I need to educate you and teach you as to what we're doing and why we're doing it, so that you, want to know more about it and know why we need to do it. So, here is your muscle or your ligaments, okay? Just imagine that this is what it looks like. Now, when you pull your back out, or when you get really tight muscles, and what happens is they're kind of like they're knotted, just like you get knots in your upper back or in your lower back, and it causes pain. So what's happening is that it tightens up just like this. So then it can't pull, or it isn't as long as it's supposed to be because we got this knot in. So what we need to do is get massages, or maybe go to the chiropractor to help loosen out these knots, okay? But the thing is that most of us, go to massage therapists maybe once a month, go to the chiropractors maybe like once a week or once a month. But the thing is that flexibility is a huge thing no matter how old you are or what you do in your daily life, okay? Flexibility helps with multiple things. It helps with your range of motion. Your range of motion is, how far you can go down on maybe like a squat or a lunge, or how far your muscles can actually, go when you're doing any daily living activities, or, when you're exercising as well. So you want to make sure that you have a good range of motion, okay? The flexibility that your muscles have and your ligaments is better, because then if they're really tight, kind of like an old elastic, what happens is it snaps, okay? And that's when you pull muscles, and that's when you get injuries. If you get injuries, you need to stop what you're doing. Whether that's just, your everyday activities, or whether it's a sport. And I know for a fact that, if you have to stop a sport because you get injured, that's the most frustrating thing and last thing. And when you're trying to lose weight, if you have to stop working out, that's again, you've been working so hard to get to your goals, and you have to stop because you get injured. That's the worst thing. So let's prevent those injuries. So that's where flexibility and daily stretching comes in, so that we don't end up with canes and wheelchairs when we get older, okay? So that's what I want to teach you about today, and that's why we do self-massaging, We have to do it daily, and we can't be going to the chiropractor and the massage therapist daily. So that's what I want to be able to give you, some activities and tools that you can do at home, and you should be doing at home, because it's going to help you and make you feel 1,000 times better, okay? So I'm just going to go over what I have in front of me, and then for the rest of the show, I'm going to give you some simple tips, okay? So this is a foam roller. This can be purchased from any sports store, okay? It's probably the cheapest, awesomest invention that you're going to invest in. We're talking about, maybe it can range anywhere from $20 to $50, depending on the firmness. Now, if you are not too active, you're going to want the softer type of foam roller, okay? Whereas if you're like an athlete, you're going to want a more firm, okay? And as you do it more often, you can bump up to more firm options. We also have the stick. This is literally called the stick. You can Google it. I buy it online. You can't buy it locally. And I'm going to show you how to use this. It's a great tool that I often get all my members to use. Now note that just if you are stretching without these tools, it will help, loosen up the muscles, but this is going to really dig into those deep tissues and help loosen up those knots that I talked about so that we can have a better range of motion, so we have more flexibility. And then also the last item that I'm going to be using is a tennis ball, a golf ball, or this is actually a lacrosse ball that you can get from Canadian Tire or another sports store. And I'll explain the differences, which one you should be using for which exercises. Okay, so this is my toolbox for my self-massaging activities. So what I want to go over in the rest of the show is simple exercises you should be doing on a daily basis. So I'll see you when you get back.
My name is Kimberly Payne. I'm 53 years old. I live in Goderich, and I did belong to a large institution here. And I joined Fit Body Bootcamp because at 53 I need to get the weight off. I had set a goal of 25 pounds by Christmas. Being a member of this other organization, didn't have enough of the group activity and the motivational things that I have. And what I love about Fit Body Bootcamp is the online presence. So there's great newsletters and recipes and group activity with all of us. I love the camaraderie that we have when we're here in the gym. My 25-pound goal by Christmas, I joined last week, September. I'm down 23 pounds, so I'm gonna have to readjust my goal. And it's not just the exercise, it's all the nutritional information that Nadine gives us. And so I'm really sticking to the nutrition as much as possible. And that's why I'm being really successful. I come 6 days a week, unless I have another commitment. I can come at 6:30, at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's half an hour and it's done. So it's just, it really works for me. And I'm looking forward to setting a new goal.
My name is Julie. I came to boot camp 4 months ago because my sister Christine encouraged me to. Her weight loss was one of the reasons that inspired me to come. The other reason is I'm a mom, working full-time, 2 kids, felt like I was tired of being tired, so that was my motivation to get me here. In the 3.5, 4 months I've been here, I've lost 12 pounds, feeling great. My goal is to lose way more. Not going to share that, but it's tough. It didn't come on overnight, it didn't come off overnight, but it's the thing that I'm doing to make the commitment, to be there, to be healthier and more fit for me and my family.
Hey guys, welcome back. Nadine Vandenheuvel with Fitness and Fat Loss with Fit Body Bootcamp. Today we are talking about self-massaging and why you should be doing it. I just went over as to, help, loosening out those muscles so that we don't get, pulled out of our activities because of injuries, okay? It's all about prevention of injuries, okay? So we're going to go over some simple exercises in this part of the show for your lower body, okay? So some of you who have been maybe, trying some of the exercises that I've been showing on this show, or maybe when you work out on your own, you get tight muscles, okay? We want to make sure that you realize that tight muscles means that they're, tense. And if you, constantly are doing activities, you're just going to make sure that we want to avoid that tense, those muscles. So you want to make sure that you're loosening up. And that's why we need to stretch, to help loosen them up, as well as to help flexibility so that we can perform better in our actual activities. So going through the lower body, we have a few areas that I really want to stress. I'm not going to give you all the tools that I have, but we're just going to cover the main important aspects. Now, first things first is most of, most people are usually working, throughout the day, and they often sit during the day, okay? And that is a huge, huge issue with lower back issues, okay? Now, lower back problems, which I hear constantly, it's either, people are telling me they have knee problems or, lower back weaknesses. a lot of lower back injuries come from weak core, okay? So first off, those are why, we're gonna go over, and we have gone over simple core exercises to build up, okay? But you wanna make sure you're stretching. So what's happening is you're sitting all day. So imagine this, your body, okay? So your hips are constantly in one position. So when you go and exercise or when you go and do something, you're forcing it out of its, position that it's sitting in 8 hours a day, okay? So what's happening is everything's kind of happening in the hips. You're getting tight butt muscles or weak butt muscles. You're getting tight hip flexors. So hip flexors are the spots right into your hips, okay? Because you're constantly sitting all day, okay? So we want to make sure that we're loosening these spots out. So a couple stretches with and without the foam roller. The hip flexors, this is a beautiful stretch that you're going to love me for. All you're going to do is on one knee, and you're going to tilt the hip. So here's the normal hip, and you're just going to tilt it forward, and then you're going to lean forward, okay? You'll feel the stretch right in here. So whenever you're stretching, make sure you are holding for, 15 to 30 seconds. Otherwise, it's not going to be too useful for you. Now, to do that on the foam roller, some of you, if you know that you've pulled a hip flexor before, or your hips are tight, this is the exercise that you're going to want to do. I do this one daily, okay? Because like I said, I don't want injuries, okay? So you're going to grab your foam roller because you guys are all going to get one, no matter if you're active or not. This is a great episode for those of you that, just need to make sure that you are stretching daily. So you're going to actually lie right on your foam roller, and you're going to put the foam roller right underneath your hip, okay? So you never want to be rolling actually on the bone, okay? So what I'm going to do is just give you, actually I'm going to move this so that you guys can have a better view. So the foam roller is going right on the, the ligament, the joint, but not the bone of the hip, right in that socket, okay? Okay, so I'm going to lay right on top of it where the muscle is, and then I'm going to use my other knee just to support me, and I just roll up and down my thigh, just to about halfway up the thigh, but not any higher than the bone. And it is, what it's doing right now is I'm going to take about 30 seconds on it. It shouldn't be painful, and I'm just going to roll up and down it. And it's, so your ligaments or your muscles are really, really tight, and it's going to really, massage those muscles out. So if you have a pulled hip flexor, it's going to feel, you're going to feel it, okay? It will be a little bit tender, but it's good. It's really good that you're loosening it up, okay? So that's the hip flexor. Another good one for your bum or your glutes is to actually sit right on the foam roller, okay? So just watch carefully, and you can Google all these as well. It will just give you kind of an idea as to what is this foam roller and why do we do it, okay? So I'm just going to stick my one leg on top of the other, so just the ankle on top of the knee, and then I'm going to, the leg that I'm actually putting on top, that's the way that I'm going to lean, and you're just going to roll up and down over your glute or your bum, and you're going to feel a couple tender spots. So those tender spots are like, knots, almost like baseball-sized knots that you're trying to massage out, because that's causing tension. And if you're really active, or if you're not, that could potentially lead to you throwing out your back, or bothering your hip, or potential injuries that could be happening in the near future. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So again, rolling up and down. Now for about like 30 seconds or so, you'll feel the spots. If you feel it really tender, stick on that one for a little bit longer and do that one daily, because that means that you have a knot there, okay? So we really want to try to, loosen it up. It's not going to happen just in the first time that you're massaging it out. You're going to have to do it a few times, okay? So I do that on each bum cheek, as well as I did it on each hip flexor, and I'm going to go on to my thighs. Now for me, whenever I work out, obviously thighs are a big muscle group, so I'm always going to massage out my thighs as well as the back of the thighs, okay? My calf muscles are a common thing that I'm going to hit as well, so I'm going to go over all those. So starting off with the thighs, it's really simple because I'm just going to roll right on top of it. So I'm just going to lay on it, so my toes are pointed down, okay? And I'm just going to roll forward and then back, okay? Make sure that you aren't going on any bones, so you're not going over my knees. Okay, I'm just rolling on my elbows. I'm directing myself with my elbows, rolling forward and then back, and you'll feel the really nice massage. It's literally like, I like to call my foam roller the cheap man's massage tool, or the Dutch person, because I'm Dutch, so I'm allowed to make fun of myself in terms of that, in terms of being cheap. But it's like, you can do this daily and you don't have to pay for a massage therapist. Massage therapists are still very important to be seen, you know, once a month, but this is something you can do daily when you're, you know, really thrown out or you have tight muscles.